There is a question that has been haunting the Final Fantasy XIV community for years. How much time has passed since our Warrior of Light signed up to be an adventurer? The official answer is that it's just been one really bad year of escalating political tensions and the end of the world a couple times over. But, come on, how realistic is that number? Well, today I'm going to try and find out how much time passes in Final Fantasy XIV. Hello world, my name is Atticus, and welcome to the 14 Timespan. It turns out that Tataru is the one who has been singing our praises far and wide, and that's why every single city-state wants us to join them. It just so happens that the Remembrance Servants that we asked everyone to do is today, right now, so we're going to listen to every one of them before we make our choice. Tataru gives a preferred order, but assures us that with our impeccable timing, the schedule may well change in favor of our preferred travel plans. Which is neat, but how dare you vaguely mention time? We visit every city-state again for some propaganda and formally meet the twins Alphino and Alice, who give us some more background on each region, as well as some sassy comments about the speeches. We pray return and learn that Abatia is out on a mission with the Immortal Flames. Unatayun has reunited with Perseverance, another forgotten scion and potential warrior of light. Minfilia tells us to rest a while, but that's not a concept we're familiar with, so we immediately speak to the recruiter and join the Immortal Flames. I went with them because on the wiki it said that they mentioned it being morning when you join, and a time of day would be great to know, but in the cutscene they just say day. In the midst of our induction, a report comes in that the Garleans have fired on a Highwind Skyways airship, and we just so happen to be right here ready to help. So, time to rush to Western Thanalan and intercept some Garleans. We meet up with an airship crewman and some Immortal Flames and learn that this ship is the first they've built since the Calamity. The first since Master Garland went missing, and while admiring the airship, the Garleans mention the traitor Garland, and that the secrets of Magitech are theirs by right. We take them out before they're able to take the airship away with one of the engineers on it, and have successfully saved the day. A less than canon day. It's not even noon of day 2 yet in the canon timeline. The engineers are named Biggs and Wedge, and they're members of the Garland Ironworks. That name has suddenly come up quite a few times, hasn't it? We return and finish our induction to the Immortal Flames. We're supposed to forsake all other nations, and they ask us to swear an oath, but they wouldn't even give me the time of day, so I choose to remain silent, but they're impressed by it all the same. We pray return to get our second quest from the Scions, but I noticed that Ida and Papalymo have moved, so let's check in with some people. There's a new familiar merchant, Brennan, who recognizes us from starting in Limsa Lominsa. He's here because he heard one of his brothers was here recently, presumably Brent, but it could be the still questing Abatia. Leovan is another new face to the Sands who asks if we've met somewhere before, and we sure have. She was one of the members of Avir's party before he died and the party went their separate ways. Her seems to have brought her to the Sands. Minfilia introduces us to two more people joining the Waking Sands. It's Biggs and Wedge. Evidently, as a neutral party with sufficient resources, the secrets of Magitech have been entrusted to the Scions, and in order to understand what we're keeping, the Garland Ironworks have kindly loaned us Biggs and Wedge, two of their finest engineers. With the formalities out of the way, it's time for our quest. The students of Baldessian have sent in a report about the state of the Sylphs in the Twelveswood near Gridania. They have been peaceful and communicative, but they still worship a primal that they could maybe summon at any moment. So it's time to break out some diplomacy. And the only diplomacy Minfilia trusts is the Echo. So I guess we're up. Before that, however, the Waking Sands has shifted once more. Brennan confirms that his brother is Brent, and Abatia has returned after raiding the Amalja crystal stores, preventing them from summoning anytime soon. And Ollie has departed now. Arenveld tells us, parenthetically, that Abba's operation succeeded at great cost. There's another new face in addition to Biggs and Wedge, Haribert, who would prefer not to explain why he's here, but he can help us with dealing with people. Leovan shares that she had feelings for Avir, which does explain a bit why she didn't like Edda, his betrothed. She's here not for grand ideals, but rather because she feels she has no other place to go. And Unatayun continues her quest of gathering the Warriors of Light. This time, she's found Satsflo, whom she can't believe she forgot about. But unfortunately, that's kind of their whole deal now. We take a quick detour to unlock mounts and then head towards Gridania to meet with the Serpent Commander about the Sylphs. The plan is to have friendly palaver about not summoning primals. Before that, though, we probably ought to learn about them. We're told to consult Rolf Hawthorne, master of the Hawthorne Hut, because he's forgotten more about the Sylphs than most people know, and he has indeed forgotten it. So we ask around and learn they like dancing, milkroot, and pranks, and they don't eat food. With a gift in hand and a jig in our step, we visit the Sylphs. As soon as Ida and Papalimo walk up and mention Gridania, however, the Sylphs shut us out, refusing to even speak with us. So we do a lot of dancing to entreat ourselves to the Sylphs and help them with some problems, predators mostly. With trust earned, we learn that their apprehension towards people stems from some Garleans that have been tramping through the forest. We ask around about the possible intrusion and get another case of wood whaler ineptitude, as Mon reveals that she did see some suspicious figures, but assumed they were adventurers and didn't follow up on it. Suspicions confirmed, Camuxio the Sylph tells us where to find these suspicious figures. We take them out and investigate a suspicious box. They've obtained supplies that seem to come from Little Solace, the Sylph encampment we've been running around. How curious. There's not time to ponder that, however, as Claxio, another Sylph, has left the safety of Little Solace. Turns out Claxio's too cool for them and runs right into a gang of tempered Sylphs keen on adding Claxio to their ranks. We rescue the sentient plant and all is well, except the Elder, whom we're here to see, has been missing the whole time, and Camuxio only trusts us enough now to share. We're to consult Buscaron. There's a suggestion of time passing as Buscaron lets us know that there's no news yet, which is not terribly specific, but I'll count it as a non-canon day passing. We did do a lot of running around Little Solace. While we wait on news, Buscaron has us dump a bucket of water on a fighty patron, and then return an earring he found to Tetrune, a Chikern who used to work at Buscaron's alehouse. We track him down and return the earring, and Tetrune would like for us to give something to Buscaron as thanks. Tetrune is going to make Chikern Firewater, one of Buscaron's favorites. But first he needs ingredients. We gather them up and hand them over, and Tetrune states that he's going to start making the firewater, and that good firewater takes time, and that we'll have to come back later. We immediately speak to him again, and he's finished the firewater. He can hand it over to Buscaron, but he's supposed to let it sit for 1 year in order to achieve the best flavor. When we return to make the delivery, I read the quest item description, like I always do, just in case. And it finally pans out. Chikern Firewater is described as a foul brew that is made by tossing various items found in the wild, both live and dead, into a barrel of water and letting the concoction ferment for a se'nnight under the warm sun. Disgusting. But a very exciting item description, because se'nnight is just a fancy word for 1 week. Which means day 2 is done. A day where we visited every city-state to set up the Cartano Memorial Service, visited every city-state again to deal with a dungeon, joined the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, investigated crystal and people disappearances near Camp Drybone, uncovered a conspiracy with 2 traitors to summon the primal Ifrit, learned how materia works, killed Ifrit, visited every city-state again to listen to the Cartano Memorial Service, joined the Immortal Flames, who couldn't believe all the things we've accomplished just today, rescued Biggs, Wedge, and an airship from the Garleans, became Gridanian diplomats to the Sylphic settlement of Little Solace, did a lot of dancing, culled some predators, saved a sylph from the evil sylphs, doused a drunkard, returned an earring, and collected the ingredients for the worst beverage you've ever seen. And then we stood around and waited for a week. Welcome to day 9. Buscaron is brought to tears by Tetrune's kindness and invites us to enjoy the drink with him in a year. There's been word on the Sylph Elder during the week we've been away, so we take a look around the forest and find some Garleans. Buscaron finds it hard to believe the Garleans have made it this deep into the forest. Unless they've had help. And Buscaron happens to know a wood whaler who's had a bit of a windfall lately. Laurentius is his name. And last Buscaron heard, he's in the South Shroud, which is where we are now. Buscaron gives us a license to kill, and we head further south and catch Laurentius musing about how much money he's making selling out Gridania, which is really convenient for us. Upon noticing us, he calls for help, and one Garlean appears. We chase him through the woods a bit, and finally corner him, only to discover it's actually us who have been led into a trap. More Garleans appear, but some poachers join us as backup. Wait. We take out Legless Laurentius and his cohorts. After his defeat, he states that this had to be Buscaron's doing. He's an inspiring way about him. And says that he's seen the error of his ways and is going to turn himself in, and we let him walk away. That doesn't seem like a good idea to me, but Buscaron confirms that he's turned himself in and shares Laurentius' sad backstory. And at last, we have news of the Sylph Eder Frixio. He's in the 1,000 maws of Totorak, hiding out from Imperials. Ida and Papalimo are headed to get reinforcements from Gridania and where to delve into the dungeon. Wood Whaler Bloiserant is guarding the door and states that he didn't even notice the Sylph Elder enter the dungeon he's supposed to be guarding. And I just don't know why the Wood Whalers are always depicted as being absolutely horrendous at their jobs. There's a red-masked Ascian at the bottom of the dungeon, La Habrea. He tries to kill us here, but he's not willing to do it himself. I'm not sure if he's just busy or spooked by the voice in our head mentioning the presence of evil. Either way, we fight Graphius, a really big mite. The Sylph Elder falls from the sky, having been caught and spun into a web, and we get a vision of Nero in the Twelves Wood. It seems the Garleans wanted the Sylphs to summon the Primal Ramu, but were unsuccessful. With the dungeon complete, that's another non-canon day. We report to Buscaron, who says he'll handle reporting to Gridania and the Scions, and invites us for a drop of Chikrin Firewater. And I'm tempted to call a year pass, but it's probably not the same bottle. With the Elder returned, we can finally get to the diplomacy. Both parties don't want Ramu to be summoned, so it's a pretty straightforward affair, and then Frixio gives us a cool rock. We confirm that the Tempered Sylphs are no danger as long as we stay out of their territory, and report the results of our diplomatic mission to the Serpent Commander, and pray return. Back at the Waking Sands, Alfino has joined our ranks, kind of. All of the primals are accounted for at the moment. There will be issues sooner than later, but we're free for the moment, and Minfilia exhorts us to enjoy a moment's respite. I'll call it a non-canon day. We inform Minfilia of La Habrea, and then the Sylph Noraxia joins us as a Sylph ambassador. We make the rounds, Thancred is pondering how to proceed in his current investigations, Bremont is looking for his twin brothers, a man named Clive is here from the students of Baldessian, but he's not here to see us. Una Tayun is wondering if it's even worth trying to prove who she and her companions are, worried that most people would ask what good they've done recently, and Leovin has restarted her training and is currently raking the stone floor of the Waking Sands storehouse. We've hit a record for time passing, 1 whole week. Day 9 so far has seen us deliver some Chikrin Firewater, uncover a traitor in the Wood Whalers' midst, team up with poachers to take the traitor and some Garleans out, clear out the 1,000 maws of Totorak, and confront La Habrea a little bit. As well as get the Sylphs to promise not to summon Ramu. Next time we'll be investigating La Habrea and what he's up to, but until then, I have been Atticus, and thank you for participating.